Valerie Elster said, expressing gratitude is a natural state of being and reminds us that we are all connected. So I need to express gratitude to my committee, they are scattered throughout, to the Cy Fisher family, and to my dear friend Rebecca. Without them, tonight would not have happened. Connection. We don't accomplish anything in this world alone, and whatever happens is the result of the whole tapestry of one's life and all the weavings of individual threads from one to another that create something. Sandra Day O'Connor. We all came to NCNM with a thread, and we are all leaving with a thread, and most likely it's a completely different thread than the one that we came here with. And no two are the same, yet we are all connected. Indeed, a beautiful tapestry, and it's in thanks to the last 4, 5, 6 years at NCNM. The ties that bind us together. Knowledge. We now know a lot of stuff, supposedly. The financial aid exit counseling session certainly alludes to this. We will gallantly do our best to make sense of all of it for the board exams. And then the real fun begins. But what is truly the worth of all of this knowledge if it's not shared? Margaret Fuller said, if you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. Docere, doctor as teacher, is one of our naturopathic principles. It's now up to us to take this accumulation of incredible knowledge from our elders and allow it to continue burning brightly, teaching and connecting those before to those who will follow us. Humility. A friend and NCNM alum told me when I was applying, NCNM will bring you to your knees, so you better find a way to get yourself up again. And I didn't believe that. But I can attest by my standing here today that she was right. Medical school is hard. And I don't mean hard as in memorizing all the biochemical pathways of enzymatic hormone conversions. I mean hard as in we've had to say goodbye to classmates who decided that their pathways needed a different direction. To loved ones and relationships that just weren't going to survive this experience. And quite surprisingly, a few of our beloved mentors as they left this mortality for a new experience. Hard, as in we had challenges unlike any other we'd yet encountered. For example, we had to insert needles into each other's veins and then actually get blood out. We had to distinguish between the heart sounds of Tennessee and Kentucky. Did you notice the difference? Tennessee, Kentucky? Sure. We had to differentiate the white-gray blob from the gray-white blob on the diagnostic imaging. And we had to amputate and reattach small appendages. Just kidding, we didn't actually have to reattach any of the things that we cut off. And in the midst of those challenges, life blazed on outside of the classroom. And we consistently took turns holding each other up as we clambered up off of our knees. I can assure you medical school is a team sport. And because of this, we also had to learn to accept help from each other, which is hard. We each had to individually struggle in ways that we never expected to truly realize and appreciate our personal successes. But we are a lucky group because never once was any of us alone through these hard experiences. We will leave this scholastic adventure with a few scars, humility, and a deep respect for each other, ourselves, and our medicine. Compassion. Rachel Naomi Riemann said the most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we ever give each other is our attention. A loving silence often has far more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. We all have compassion. We all want to help. Whether it's through the magic of a homeopathic remedy, a bitter tincture, a poppy cracky manipulation, or taking away every food that ever tasted good. We want to help. Some feel the call of compassion here in Portland, and some will spread to the greater Pacific Northwest, while some will trickle out into the rest of the country and even forge paths in unlicensed states. And a few will be halfway around the world. And we will all be connecting to those in need. We will listen with compassion to our patients, to our colleagues, to our skeptics, and to our troops. Inspiration. We found inspiration in the classrooms and the clinics, and we've been motivated and repeatedly inspired by brilliance, wit, laughter, and many examples of deep connections to nature. There's nothing quite like holding in your hands all the memories, emotions, and knowledge of another human being. Thank you, Anatomy Lab, for providing us the awe-inspiring and rare opportunity to connect with gently cradling a person's brain. We found inspiration in welcoming new underclassmen each year, welcoming many new babies. One of our very first, Kate Fisher, is almost 4, and one of our very most recent, baby Andrew, is he 3 weeks old yet? He's just barely 3 weeks old. And in celebrating weddings and new relationships and new beginnings and our deepest connections, we find inspiration in each other. You know how so often you think that what life has shown you is pretty challenging until you learn what the person next to you is dealing with? My classmates have amazed and inspired me beyond my wildest imagination. These rich and complex threads that have created our NCNM tapestry allowed us to connect and will continue to guide us forward. These threads are the makings of fantastic doctors. So I leave you tonight with a poem by Charlie Daniels. A brief candle, both ends burning, an endless mile, a bus wheel turning, a friend to share the lonesome times, a handshake and a sip of wine. So say it loud and let it ring. We are all a part of everything, the future, present, and the past. Fly on, proud bird, you're free at last.